All right, last week I revealed our latest Cityline book club pick, The Push. It's a tense, page-turning psychological drama about the making and breaking of a family, and it's told through the eyes of a woman whose experience of motherhood is nothing at all what she hoped for and everything she feared. So I'm so happy to have the book's author, Ashley Audrain, with us today to talk about The Push. First of all, congratulations.
Well, thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, the rights to The Push were sold in a multi-million-dollar deal in dozens of countries in under 2 weeks. This is unheard of for a debut novel. Just tell me about that experience. Like, does it feel surreal for you right now?
Yes, it feels as surreal as you can imagine. It is a pinch yourself every morning when you wake up sort of experience still. Yeah, I feel very grateful for it.
Now, you are a former book publicist, which makes this, to me, even more interesting, because what is it like being on the other side as a first-time author?
Well, it's a strange experience because I'm, much more used to sort of being the one, talking about the books and putting the books out there in the world, as opposed to, speaking about the novel I wrote. But yeah, it's really a dream come true. I mean, I really have always wanted to be a writer and have been writing since I was a little girl, and had really dreamed of, writing a novel of my own, but sort of pursued different paths and, went into public relations and communications, and then eventually ended up working at Penguin Canada in publishing as a publicist. So yeah, I felt like a kid in a candy store when I had that job, going to the office every day with, working with authors and books everywhere. And then when I left to have my son, that's when I began to write.
So this is a story where you delve into the dark side of motherhood. That question, am I a good mother? Is my kid normal? And you examine the expectations of motherhood. Why did you decide to tackle this topic for this novel?
Well, I have always been really interested in motherhood, long before I had kids myself. Just the idea of, why women become mothers, why they make that choice, how it changes their life, how it completely changes identity. Those were always, interests of mine. And then when I became a mother myself, I sort of experienced that, that firsthand change, and sort of could feel how those expectations, that I had grown up with and that society kind of places on women, they're not always met in motherhood. I loved my son dearly and connected to him, but, at the time he had some health challenges when he was little, and, mothering in that circumstance was just very different, and very challenging in ways that I hadn't expected. And I really thought a lot then, about all of the different ways that women, have a different experience with motherhood than they hoped. And that is really what I wanted to write about. And so when he was 6 months old, I started writing the book, and I would, steal a few hours a week to go to the coffee shop to write. And that's just what was on my mind, was just, the stories of women and what it's really like and the things people don't talk about. So that's where the story of kind of life and her daughter came from.
Yeah, talk about things people don't talk about. This, I'm not going to give it away because I want our viewers to read the book, but there is some really good, meaty fodder in there to talk about, and I cannot wait to talk about it for our Cityline book club.